The recently concluded India-EU Free Trade Agreement, called the mother of all trade deals, and the India-UK deal signed earlier have opened up a major opportunity for Indian export businesses. But I believe we are framing that opportunity too narrowly. The way I see it, it's an opportunity like never before to expand and in fact create your next growth story. So let's talk about it. Most conversations about Europe are still about existing exporters exporting more to Europe after the free trade deal and now becoming more competitive as low-cost suppliers. My argument is totally different. The real opportunity is not just in current exporters exporting more and cheaper. It's also for both exporters and domestic players to approach the Europe opportunity in a very different way and to capture a lot more value. The dominant narrative on exports hasn't really changed. The Indian manufacturer makes and supplies the product at cost plus some small margin. The Western importer adds some features, slaps on his brand name, communicates and delivers to customers, and captures most of the value. Yes, the FTA improves cost competitiveness, but if Indian businesses stay stuck in the low-cost supplier role, they will have left most of the value on the table, and they will remain exposed to relentless price pressure from China, Vietnam, Bangladesh, and others. Competing on cost is a slippery slope and is not a sustainable growth story. In contrast, value-added and branded players, they enjoy better pricing power, they enjoy more stable demand, and they enjoy higher customer loyalty. If Indian businesses want profitable growth out of Europe, not just volume growth, they must decisively move beyond the commodity market. So let's talk about Europe itself and why it's a bigger opportunity than it seems. First of all is the scale. The EU plus the UK account for almost $23 trillion of GDP, nearly a quarter of the global economy and almost 6 times that of India. Growth rates may be moderate, but size still matters, right? For example, an average UK consumer spends about 90,000 rupees a year on apparel, compared to an Indian consumer in India spending about 4,000 rupees. That means even a small, well-chosen niche in a European market creates as much or more value than a large opportunity at home. The second way of looking at it, and this is both for exporters and for domestic businesses, Europe is complex. Multiple countries, 27 languages, different cultures, consumption habits, long-winded regulations. Some would say that's a disadvantage. I say it's precisely the reason why Indian businesses should feel at home. Indian companies have built their brands across states, languages, cultures. They've learned how to work through fragmented value chains and deal with tough regulations. They've learned how to partner locally. These capabilities are not universal. In Europe, they become a real competitive advantage. Third, and this is for both Indian exporters and for domestic players as well, more than half of India's value addition still comes from small and medium enterprises. Unlike the US, Europe still has vibrant high streets and independent retailers, as an example. Smaller players don't just chase the lowest price. They value reliability, they value customization, quality, service, and relationships, and they're willing to pay for it. Once trust is built, loyalty tends to be high. Indian businesses understand the SME world well. It's similar to India's marketscape. So why the hesitation? Here's what I hear from some. There are high perceived entry costs. There is uncertainty about where to start. And in some cases, there's a bit of fear about failure. And of course, there's the comfort of the familiar and growing Indian domestic market always. Earlier, that approach may have been justified. Today, it is totally outdated. One key change is that Gen AI is fundamentally changing the economics of market entry. Activities that once required large teams, long timelines, expensive research, market discovery, customer insight generation, value chain mapping, concept testing, can now be done faster, better, and at a fraction of the cost. And this is not just theory. In the last 6 months at RedVent, we have helped 2 businesses identify and test opportunities in Europe and the US at speeds and costs that would have been unthinkable even a year ago. Gen AI reduces both risk and hesitation. So the biggest barrier today is no longer the capability. What is it then? It's the mindset. The India-EU FTA is not just about exporting more. It is about claiming a bigger role in the value creation in Europe. Indian businesses have far more to offer Europe than just low-cost supply. And that's true for current Indian exporters, and it's true for strong Indian domestic players as well. And that's how you, for example, can write your next growth story.